Southside to uptown, the city is back, cause we are. Yeah, we are. That's a DC rising. You could better stack one that I put my city on my back. Man, I swear these niggas lying if they say my city down. You could better stack one that I put my city on my back.
I'ma do it for my Wizards again. We going all the way this year.
What's good, Wiz Nation, Wizards fans? How's it going? Y'all know who it is. It's your boy, Camingo. We went winless this past week. Lost to the Sixers, the Thunder, and the Magic. But it's still early in the season. We're 1-5. We're on a four losing streak. But this team, we're still learning. We're still a brand new team and everything. But let's just get straight to these games, man, because we got a lot to talk about this straight up. Let's talk about this collapse we had against the Sixers. Beginning game, Alex Sarr, monster star. He had 13 points in the first quarter. Him and me, they were going at each other in the first quarter. And then we had our best first quarter of the season. We ended up scoring 40 points in the first quarter, our best quarter of the season. But in the first half, we had let me see. We had 72 points in the first half. But that third quarter, I will talk about the third quarter because coming in the third quarter, we were up 10 points, whatever it was at halftime. Then third quarter, I'm gonna figure out how we're gonna come out the third quarter because remember against Charlotte, they blitzed us. It was 44-26 in the third quarter. But third quarter, they came up with a lot of energy. Keyshawn George got to a hot start. We were up 19 points, thinking like, oh, we're gonna roll away with a win here. To be 2-2 on the season. But when it got midway the fourth quarter, that's when the collapse happened. Before I get to that, the third quarter, we outscored Philadelphia 38-26. But now it gets to the fourth quarter. I think we were up 15 points with like 5 minutes to go. That's when we knew the Philly just came out like they attacked, and did not blink one bit. They did not quit. I'm thinking like, okay, when Lee got to 9, I'm like, oh god. Then 6, I'm like, that's what was. Then 3, I'm like, oh no, I'm tired. I'm like, wow. But late in the game, and they challenged a goaltend when it wasn't. Set to jump it up, and Bud, we tried to go for a win at Milton. I wasn't probably missing go for a win because I seen him before. He had a good look basketball. He missed, but when we got to overtime, I said, okay, bring it overtime. When we were up 5 points with 2.5 to go, whatever. I said, just hang on his lead. But once again, Philadelphia did not don't blink one bit. They kept fighting. When I got the lead, I'm like, the collapse is complete. But then we were up. I think we were down 3 with like 5 seconds to go. I'm like, why would Middleton just throw the ball for it and he got intercepted? I'm like, because I believe they were aware that it might have been they would have fouled down 3 and come up and make some from free throws. But the collapse, it happened. They beat us 139-134. Looked like we're gonna win, but Philly like they didn't quit. These numbers, but the guy who attacked was Maxey. He had 39 points. At this rate, he's playing like the best point guard in East Conference at this moment. And we did a good job on the rookie Edgecombe. He's the favorite to win Rookie of the Year. He had 14 points. Embiid in limited time had 25 points. He was play 20 minutes every game, still at 25. But on the bench, Grimes, the one who tied the game up, he had 23 points off the bench. For Wizards side, shout out to Alex Sarr, who went at Embiid. He had 31 points and 11 rebounds. He was the youngest Wizard ever with a 30-10 game. Remember last year against Joker, he had 34 and 34 points. He was the youngest Wizard scored 30. I'm like, when you go against these centers, he embraces the challenge against these bigs like the Joker or Embiid or Holmgren or Jaren Jackson and Cat. all these centers, he accepting the challenge this season. And Keon George, he did struggle the first part of the game, but he shot he bad. He got his confidence boots going. I think that I didn't count. He had like a heave at the buzzer, but didn't count, and went in. But after that, he got his confidence going. He had 20 points and 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Because Keyshawn, just keep doing what you're doing, man. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. And I'm gonna go to this bench, man. Our bench was good in that game against Philadelphia. Do the math here. See, 14, 13, that's 27. That's 37 here. 46 bench points. Trey Johnson had 10. Kispert had 13. And shout out to Marvin Bagley. I know he got hurt in that game at the end one. He had 14 points and 7 rebounds. And Whitmore had 9. You saw that little alley-oop dunking it. I said, we knew it was coming one day, but it wasn't pretty, but I'll take it. But yeah, man, we should have won that game, man. We could have been 2-2. Honestly, we could have been 2-4 instead of 1-5. But it is what it is, though. These numbers here, it was even at the threes. Cause both made 17 threes. But the difference was the free throws. They took 37 free throw attempts to our 21. That was the difference in the game. If we cut that down in half, we probably in overtime and we would have won this game. Rebounds on even. They were +5 on the board. But that's okay. Turnovers were even, but the difference was the free throws. That was the difference. Now I get to Oklahoma City. Once I found my hunger out, I'm like, we have I'm saying a good chance. We have a slim chance. And that game, welcome back Bilal Coulibaly. And once Bilal came out, we made a line change. We put Bub off the bench because he's been struggling over the past his first part of the season. It was CJ, Chris, Bilal, Keyshawn, and Sar. I'm like, I can dig with this five at the very moment until CJ and Chris get traded. But we got to a nice little start. I think once we get quiet, once Bilal got that dunk, but you know the Thunder, as champs they are, you know they're gonna battle back. And throughout almost the whole game, we kept trading baskets every time. After we cut to 8, it put to 10 or 7 to 9, whatever. But here was the difference of the ball game. I think we cut the lead down to 2. It was 83 to 81, and after that they went on a fierce run. I'm like, this is what they've been doing for the past two seasons now. Here's what I think. I said on Twitter. Once you think you have the Thunder had and you're in the game, they're gonna blow you out in a matter of time. It can turn to a 2-point game to a 15 similarly in about a minute, just like that. And that where the game was blown open. But look at these numbers here. Bilal in his first game back has 16 points, 8 rebounds, 3 block shot, but he had four turnovers though. I think he was the star of the game to me. McCollum did his thing, had 19 points, 5 threes, did his thing. But the game ball was the MVP, was SGA. 31 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists. And I'm surprised he did not get a steal, man. Cause I had my parlay. I said get 1 steal, and he didn't get it. I could have won some money, man. But these 2 guys off the bench were the key why they won the game. AJ Mitchell and Zaya Joe. In Joe's first game back from injury, first game of the season. Both Mitchell and Joe had 20 apiece off the bench. I'm like, the Thunder, to me, still, they got the best bench in basketball. They've been having that bench for the last 2 seasons. Remember who called the bench? They come in and produce. That's what being a champion team is about. But the difference in the game was the turnovers. We had 22 turnovers. If we make mistakes with Thunder, they're gonna turn it into points easily. And they're really good with their hands, man. They're good in deflection and steals, man. When they get steals, it's gonna turn to easy points. They had 16 steals to our 3. We didn't shoot the ball well. We shot 4%, and they shot 4%. So we shoot the ball well, but turnovers were the main difference and got an easy point. And they got the foul line, which is they're good at because SGA gets the foul line like almost most of the time. They went to the line 20 times. How many times SGA got the line? He got the line 6 times. I remember the first 2-3 games got the line 50 times. It's been cut down a little bit, but it's gonna go up some once the season progresses. We're gonna get a little bit to a Magic game because I stopped the game at halftime. First quarter, I was like, okay, up 6 points. This could be a tie game, but second quarter, no energy whatsoever. We just quit second quarter. That was it. So that's all I can say about the Magic. But I want to talk about before we get into break. I want to talk about to Chris and CJ in that Philly game. I'm like, Brian Keefe, why you need to play Trey Johnson and whoever on the bench more? If those two vets are struck, I know they're vets and they've been there, done that. But you gotta play one of your bench players because they struggled down the stretch in the fourth quarter. You gotta go. You should have went with Trey Johnson or even Cam Whitmore with offense and defense. Any chance you get, and who know, we could have been Philly. But I want to see more Trey Johnson, man. I want to see more of him because he's been having a good rookie season. I know he had a bad night against Orlando because it happens. Because we all know he can have one when he's nice, who have a bad shooting game. But please, Brian Keefe, we want more Trey Johnson. I know he's gonna start eventually down the course of the season, but you can tell that he has the it factor on his team. He's the spark plug on his team on offense. When bench, start him, whatever, he's the it factor on his team. So that's all I gotta say, Brian Keefe. Just start Trey Johnson as soon ASAP, please. So we're gonna take this quick break. We're gonna go around the league like we did last week. Once we got a break, stay tuned.
He is going to fight for it, and then that becomes contagious as Maxey turns it over. Keyshawn to Cam.
And we are back. And now we go around the league, and a segment we call it Headlines. Now we go around the league. First up, do you see your news about Ja Moran? How he called out his coaches right after they lost to the Lakers when they blew that game. It was during the AMA Cup though, and found he got suspended. But now we know that his time in Memphis is just almost up. Now we're gonna talk about for next couple of weeks or months. So who's gonna get Ja Moran? And people saying, come DC, DC. I'm like, I said we shall see because Ja Moran history about the gun situation he had a couple years ago, and we've been there before with Gilbertina. We brought guns in the locker room and got spending that time ended in DC. But man, what a fallout they had last couple of years. I believe it was 3-4 seasons ago. They were the number 2 seed. They were on the ride. That team with John Moran, Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bain, Dylan Brooks. That team, they were on the ride of possibly who win championship. And John Moran was next superstar in the making. And then at that season, it's been downhill ever since. I think they were the number 2. They were the number two seed in 2023, but John Moran was injured and they lost in the first round. And then next John Moran had the gun situation and they missed playoffs. And last year they barely made the playoffs. They lost their first playing game and won the second. But unfortunately, they got swept by the eventual championship in the Oklahoma City Thunder. But now this season, looks like it's time to start over because the whole team is almost gone. I know you locked up Jaren Jackson for a long haul, but he lost Bain and Brooks. That whole team that are set to win championship in the future. But now it's over, man. It's time basically start over. Because you should never fire that coach in the first place. The previous coach, was it Jenkins? Terry Jenkins. Y'all, why'd you fire him? I'm like, why? I'm like, that was stupid. But we'll talk about Memphis in a moment. Let's get on to seeing who's winless and perfect. We saw 2 teams suffer their first L over the week. The Bulls lost to the Knicks after the Bulls got them the first time on Friday during the NBA Cup. We'll talk about that in a moment. And Spurs lost to the Phoenix, but Spurs due for loss. It was bound to happen one of these games, but the Suns they won 2 in a row, and the Wizards. That's our eye test. Is Suns because we get a first round pick swap because of the bad bill trade. Because you know to do bad, we get their pick, and the teams from win this. Poor Brooklyn, especially poor New Orleans. They fucked up, man. I'm like, you traded a unprotected pick, and pick goes to Atlanta because Derek Queen the Dairy Queen draft this past draft. I'm like, what are y'all doing, man? That's what I'm talking about all season long because they could win lottery again. Like they screwed up, man. And poor Jordan Poole. I'm like having fun down there in New Orleans, man. Speaking of Jordan Poole, we didn't talk about this last week. You hear what Jordan Poole said about Cat One Arena that has been dead for the last couple of years? Dude, have you seen your arena in New Orleans? It's been dead for ever since going back to New Orleans except for the first year. But after the CPT left, it's been dead. Even though AD was there, but this it still was there. Only punch code of the games is when the superstars come, when LeBron, Luca, Ant Man, Joker, etc. That's when they come to show. But they out fan up. But back when it comes, no, because I bet the getting games about what $10-$20 or something like that. Like so talking about our earnings been dead. Your earnings been dead for past 10 years or so. But we'll talk about that later on. But the one thing that's still perfect is the champs. What do you expect? The OKC Thunder are still perfect. Now let's get to this NBA come. Hold on, I'm gonna get to this real quick. Hold on, let me standings. All right, here we go. Let's talk about our group. We're in East Group A. Right now, leading the group is the Hawks. They had a big win against Indiana, won by 20 points or so. They're in the lead. And Toronto, they beat Cleveland. In Cleveland, I know Cleveland had Don Mitchell in play and Jared Allen and Garland and Struz. Those are some of their key guys. But Wizards, if we can beat Cleveland in our house, because I'll be at that game on Friday night. If we can beat Cleveland in their house, they're pretty much not gonna be in the what you call it, knockout round. So if you lose two games, you're basically not gonna go to knockout round. You're basically out of it. So because when you get knocked around, you gotta be perfect or lose one game and have a good point differential to get to be a wild card and get to knockout round. East Group B, Boston had a big win, had a nice win, and Boston can remember money caught pick Philly win. Cause Philly almost came back from 20 something down. I didn't see the game. Cause I was at my high school watching a football game, but they're at 23 and they came back tired. I'm like, oh, they have a chance. But Embiid, I'm like, why did you shoot three, man? I know it was a desperation shot, but that was a bad shot. I mean, you knew it was all once he left your hand, but should get the max or edge come to whoever to win the game. That's the only team who played in that group. East Group C, only team was the Bulls. We talked about that. They beat New York. They're in the lead in that group. Only team that playing in A was Phoenix. They smashed Utah. I think the Lakers, they had a nice win against the Grizzlies. Comeback win. They needed that. You know what I'm saying? Because they lost the game. They've been like huge cover because that group is hard. You got the Lakers, the Clippers, the Pelicans, right there, the Mavs, and Memphis as well. Those three got to beat. Those top three is the Mavs, Lakers, and Clippers. Pels and Grizzlies, like, they're not in the conversation. So one of those three teams is probably going to win that group, and one of them could be a wild card in the knockout round. And the toughest group right now is West Group C in Portland, Denver, Houston, Golden State, Memphis. That is the gauntlet group right there. Right now, Portland's winning because they beat Denver. But I know most Denver fans, I know so on Twitter, but they don't care about this immigrant. They care about winning a championship. But Portland, are they gonna win that group? We'll see, because we've seen sleeper teams make it to Las Vegas before. We saw the Pacers did it the first year, and the Pelicans did it, made it to Vegas. You saw Atlanta last year made it to Las Vegas. We've seen some sleeper teams go knock around and get to Vegas, and who knows, could possibly win it, but remember last 2 years, who won this cup don't do nothing in the playoffs, but it's still early on good. We got many more cup games left to go. And Wizards, this week coming up, put a schedule out. This week coming up, we got New York, we got Boston, Cleveland, and Dallas. Cooper Flag come to see. Like I said, could have been Wizard, but it is what it is. So here's why I think we're going to lose to New York because New York. Every time we haven't won New York in forever. I believe we have a shot against Boston. Cleveland, we'll see because they are dealing with injuries with Allen and Garland and banged up Mitchell. He did put a third report last night against Atlanta on a playing with a hammy injury. And I think we could beat the Maverick because no AD, no Kyrie. It's pretty much flagged by himself. So if he can get to 2-2 or something like that or better, then we're kind of back in the mix a little bit. But we still got a long season to go, Wiz fans. But that's about it, Wiz fans. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all know the deal. Follow me on Twitter at Kamingo, same Instagram. Wiz page, Twitter at Wiz_Nation, Instagram Nation_Wiz. Thank y'all. Peace.